who are you and what do you do?
My name is Francis. I go by Frankie. A lot of people know me by Frankygocrayyy. Uh, I'm a father first, you know. I'm a husband, and I'm an entrepreneur.
Nice. All right. So, entrepreneur, and you're also an artist. What first got you into the arts?
I've always been into arts my whole life. I've always been into arts, like, yeah, my whole life as long as I can remember. Actually, I have a very, very vivid memory of when I first moved to America, actually, because I am Nigerian born. I moved to America after my fifth birthday, so right when I turned 5, when I started in kindergarten. And my first year in kindergarten, actually, we had like a little art class, and I remember drawing like a little skyline at the time, design it to the best of my knowledge at the time. And yeah, back in Houston, I ended up like winning some type of like school district thing because of that drawing, and that kind of like bloomed me into like wanting to like take on arts, right? So, yeah,
Cool. So it started off as visual arts.
yeah, visual.
Visual arts. Okay. Then what got you into doing into music?
With me with music, right? Um, yeah. I've always liked music. It took me a while to really just, get into the verbal side of things because, as you know, like I said, I did move to America when I just turned 5. I started in pre-K or whatnot, but I had to go through things like ESL. English is my second language. I had to learn proper English and things like that. Not saying that English is not the first language in my home, but like it's just things I had to go through, right? In order to further my English. And yeah, the music just kind of just grew into me. Like when I got to like middle school. When I got to middle school, when I started playing basketball, American football with the boys, we would have like little ciphers. That's when I was first actually introduced to a cipher, the locker room thing. Everybody take turns from the school bus to the game. From after the game, after a winning game, everybody's still amped live type shit. But like, yeah, that's basically how I got into it. But then, as a youngin, like I was infatuated with like being super rich, wanted to make money. I didn't know how to monetize music at the time, so like I kind of like left it behind. Yeah.
Okay. Around what time did you leave, like take a break from music? Because I know that
High
you're
school.
high school.
High school.
Okay.
It actually started in high school.
So, what were your biggest influences growing up?
Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, Kanye, 50 Cent. Around that era of time, music was, yeah, that was my whole childhood. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. That was actually the first CD I bought. I can remember vividly buying with my own money. Yeah.
True. All right. Well, what environment or upbringing has shaped your sound? Like, were you always known as Frankygocrayyy, or was there another artist name that you went by?
So back in the day, people used to call me Skits, bro. Skits. I used to be that young guy with a bag of Skittles eating Skittles. So like that's how the name came, which is mad funny. And like one of my favorite movies was Back to the Future. So they call me Skits McFly. So I joined the name together. That's how that came along. But then I had also earlier influences from Fresh Prince of Bel Air and things like that. Like those are things that molded my childhood because, like I said, I come from an African background. My parents are not really in the picture, so I had to look at those things: TV, music videos, my environment, things around me that molded me ultimately.
Okay, okay. So when you start developing as an artist, now older as Frankygocrayyy, what inspires you to like write? Like what lyrics inspires you the most? Like personal life, the environment, imagination? Where do you get your creative juices?
Yeah, it comes from like many various things. It could be how I'm feeling at the time. I could be in like my little creative space. Sometimes like I could tell visuals, or how can I put it, audio stories that could paint a picture in your head. So essentially, like, yeah, it just depends on my mood, how I'm feeling, and if I'm writing at the time, because I am a really good poem writer. A lot of people don't know that. I used to write hella poems, a lot.
Dope. Did you have a poet name?
Nah, I just, yeah,
Just Frankie.
nah, it wasn't even Frankie. People used to call me just Skits back then.
Just
Just
skits.
Skits, yeah.
Oh man.
It's crazy. Different times, man.
And how much years ago was that?
Man, that's crazy. It's because I'm 32 now. So let's say we're talking about, yeah, over 15 years ago.
Jeez.
Cause yeah, over 15 years ago. Yeah, it's still a lot to it that I haven't really said. You know, like even getting to the entertainment space, like the entertainment space. Yeah, with that, even with that, the entertainment space. So like, you know, like bigger Afrobeat artists like David O. I've worked with them when I was young. You know, like this was before they were who they are now. Santi. It's a lot. I can name a couple. Yeah, it's a lot. And these are like my friends in the from the African background, you know. And it's a thing where like we've done different events. I've done different events with them. For example, even Santi, I've done records with Santi, but I'm talking about ages, ages. This times like I would go to Nigeria before I actually moved down there and went to university down there because I got in trouble in the States. And yeah, but like yeah, that's when I got in tune with all those guys down there, and they're like all blown up now, which is crazy. And yeah, I seen the work they all put in. It's like, yo, those are like my set mates right there. If I stayed consistently, I would be in the same rooms that they're in. But like, I'm grateful I've been able to work with them, talk to them, be with them. For example, we did a show. We did like first major show in like Lagos. Like I'm talking years ago. Me, my friend Robbie, my big bro Asa Sika. It was called the X and O's Fashion Show, where we actually brought Fabulous down at that time. I'm talking years ago. So like I've actually been in the game, you know, for a long time.
Yeah, in the mix.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you say you're an entrepreneur. What, as an entrepreneur, what you have multiple businesses typically. What are the businesses that you've run or associated with, partners with, for example?
Okay. First and foremost, I'm gonna start with my business. You know, Me, Frankygocrayyy, that's a establishment on its own. That's for my music business. Frankygocrayyy Incorporated is a business on its own. So everything I do within that business is in Frankygocrayyy. Then on the side, I got an exotic luxury rental business where you know we do rent out exotic vehicles, exotic cars to high end clientele, as well as I do have a jewelry company as well that I own, and all these I fully own, and I do have partners that I work with, but these are all my ideas, my ownership, 100% ownership, and yeah, and the jewelry is doing really good. I just made pieces for Neo as well, legendary Neo. I mean, that was a blessing in disguise. Like,
Nice.
yeah, we pushing.
Dope, dope, dope. How do you feel about the current state of music and more foremost hip hop? Because you've been through different eras and different times. But yeah, how do you feel about the current state of hip hop?
And to be honest, man, I think it's cool. I really don't be paying no mind to like what anybody else got going on. I listen to my favorite artists, you know, Future, and a couple more to name a few. But like me, I'm so in my own little bubble. I don't really know what's going on outside. City politics, I have like, yeah. This is my bubble. Welcome to my bubble.
Nice. All right. Well, within your bubble, you have your fans. What are something that fans would be surprised to learn about you?
Hmm. Hmm. That's actually a trick question because I've never actually thought about that.
Just like how you are as a person, what do you like to do, hobbies wise, something.
My most hidden talent, my most hidden talent, my most hidden talent, which is still my first like time that got me into all this music stuff, is like a lot of people still don't know like I'm a really decent artist with my hands. I can sketch, I can also paint, but like it's something that like I have to be in like a whole different space and realm to get into that mind space, you know? Cause like I got a lot going on in my life, as you see. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Okay. So let's say you have your hidden talent. Like, what happens if you, because you're focused a lot on music, which I noticed. If you weren't making music, what do you think you would be doing?
If I wasn't making music, um, I would be solely focused on my other two businesses. Solely
Entrepreneurship,
entrepreneurship, yeah.
making money. So with all that money, what do you want to do with the money?
And like ultimately like my lifetime goals, my life goals actually is to, you know, build schools back home in Nigeria. Um yeah, I was thankful and grateful. I was able to build my mama a house. Got that done. That was one of my lifetime goals, and I got another goal that I still gotta meet with my father before I can, you know, do all that. But like, it'll all come down the road, down the line.
Okay, cool. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
If I keep pushing, I keep working hard, I see myself being extremely successful. Um, yeah, extremely successful, and like, yeah, doubting the doubters, shutting up everybody that doubted me.
Okay. So what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind
A
in hip hop?
legendary, a legendary legacy, not just in just hip hop, because I know that's not the only place I got my footing in. But I believe like that's one of God's callings in my life. Cause I'm a person of interest, and like my superpower is talking to people, you know, and that's how my life has progressed over time. I might not tell you which people, but like, yeah, it's because of people. I have really strong relationships with people that have changed my life for the better, right? So yeah.
Okay. Some people that you would want to work with in the future, because you have your team now, but is there certain people, individuals that you want to collaborate with?
Um, I'm open to collaborating, to be honest. I'm not one of those picky and choosy. Though I would need to be, but like as of now, yeah, I'm just an open book right now.
Okay, cool. So people working with you, do you want to work with more people like videographers, music artists, to help your career? What do you feel like you would like to partner with to push your brand further?
I think for the most part, I'm doing everything right to the best of my knowledge. I'm always open to more help, but like there's like a little gatekeeping community going on around here. But then with me, I figured out how to jump the gate, not actually go through the front door. So like that's how I've been getting my gigs. You know, like I don't necessarily have a manager. I'm just doing what I can without actually having to suck up to anybody, because I always have something to offer. I always have something to bring to the table. It's not like I'm just coming there asking for favors or anything, because I never ask for favors from anybody. Yeah, and I like to keep things that way. Even if I do ask for favor, I'm gonna return it and give plus more. You know?
Yeah, just always having something to offer.
Yeah.
Okay. So about your music, to touch more about it, what would you say is your favorite one
My
track?
favorite track so far that I've released, or
Yeah, Released or unreleased, I guess.
Yeah, I have a lot of crazy unreleased tracks. Right now I'm still just filling the market because, like I said, I actually didn't say, but yeah, I've been professionally doing music since October, October 2022, October 2022. Yes, October 2022. Because I think Rolling Loud was in September in Toronto. That was the first Rolling Loud in Toronto, and I'm sitting there with my peers, like I said, I've always been dibbling and dabbling, so I have peers in the music industry already. I have peers that are managing bigger artists. So I'm sitting there, a couple of my peers, they work with Def Jam, they're with their artists just beside the stage. And I see Kid Ink. Kid Ink start performing. I've only heard a couple of his things, but like he did a good performance for the most part. And I just like, bro, what the fuck is he doing that I can't do? Right? And I just looked at it like that, like, bro, I got the persona for this shit. I've been had the persona, matter of fact, my whole life. Like I've always had this vibe my whole life where like I always attracted people or drew people to me. And it's just like, okay, people have to see me perform or I would say people have to see me perform in order for me to steal their heart because nobody just goes to my music, right? Unless they just like it's just some German kids and some weird algorithm shit. But like in the city, people had to see me perform in order for them to become a fan. You get so like when I seen that Rolling Loud, I have no stage fright whatsoever. Give me a Rolling Loud stage, I'll smash it. Let's put it
Nice.
like that, and it's to the world from there.
So Rolling Loud is coming again in Toronto. How do you? What's the strategy? Because that's something you would want to get on.
I
Because
will, one way or the other.
true.
Like I said, it's a lot of gatekeeping, but I'm gonna jump the fence or use the back door. That's all I can say. But like, yeah, I got a couple contacts to send my EPK kit to that
Okay.
could possibly
Okay.
get me on that Rolling Loud.
Cool. So what was that track that you wanted to let people know about? That
Oh, I
is your
actually
favorite
just
track?
dropped a track off my hype. It's called Off My Hype. Um, it's an amazing track. Just go check it out. Go listen to it. Frankygocrayyy on Spotify, Apple Music. Yeah, go check it out. And yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a tape this summer, another tape this summer. I dropped one earlier, just for some light love February type vibe. But
Nice.
like yeah, I'm dropping a
Okay.
fire tape this summer. And I'm gonna keep hitting y'all with it.
Nice. So before we go, what is some other advice that you can give to up and coming artists, not just in music, just in art in general, whether it be photography, videography, rapping, DJing, whatever the case is? What kind of advice would you give for someone getting started with things?
Best advice I could give you is to just get started, man. That's the best advice. You can have the idea, you can have the thought, but as far as you're getting started, you're progressing. You're taking that one step further. So first and foremost, you just gotta just get started. And secondly, don't take things too personal because like music is like subjective, right? Everybody has their own opinions. Art as well, subjective. Everybody has their own opinions. Don't take things too personal. You might not have people listening to you in your city. You might not have even your girlfriend or your best friend or people close to you listening to you. But trust me, there are people out there because these are things I deal with on a daily basis. So yeah, there are fans. There are fans out there that will love what you have to put out. It's just a matter of just putting your things out. I do get fan messages. It makes me extremely happy to know that, like, I mean, at least somebody's listening. It could be one, two, or three. But these people are listening, right? So that's just how I look at things. Like, it's always going to be somebody that appreciates you for you. A lot of people around you might not understand. A lot of people around you might not see the vision. A lot of people might not just even just might just hate based off just two. But once you start blooming, they're gonna start saying, "Oh, I was there from the jump, this and that." But then, you know who you are. You know what you gotta do, and you just gotta keep pushing, bro. That's all I gotta say. Just keep pushing, block out the noise, and yeah, just go, do it.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, check me out. Listen to my music on Spotify, Apple Music, and every other DSP at Frankygocrayyy. Frankygocrayyy. Not Frankie Go Crazy, but Frankie Go Cray, just like that. So holla at me.
All right.
Yes, sir.